But unless you hit that cavalcade. We don't have anything to sink this mana into anyway, so this is kind of a waste, but it does show you the power, right? What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Simic infinite draw deck. That's right, infinite draws, not infinite mana, not infinite life gain, or blah 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 blah. Infinite draws. So how are we doing this? What card are we featuring from Core Set 2021 in order to make this happen? And how can you do this? Well, before we get into this big old Kraken beast that seems to be attacking a whole college there, I'd like to remind everybody, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to watch all the way through, get all the pro tips, get all the deck tech wrap-up goodness at the end, and, then decide if you want to leave a like or a comment or subscribe or all that good stuff. Anyways, on into the combo that we're playing today. So, Tolarian Kraken, it's 6 mana 4/6, and I knew when I saw this card, I was going to have to play it some way, shape, form, or fashion. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. Now, we've had things like this before where there was like the Glimmer Bell jellyfish thing that was flying in the air, and you could pay 2 mana and untap it, and you put Yangu out there, and you put the Gauntlets of Light on it. You had this combo before where you could get infinite mana, and yeah, you could spend that mana on the Spectral Sailor and then just draw and draw and draw and draw, but you'd have to keep untapping your creatures through that way. This is a kind of different. You're getting this big old body down on the board instead of having to have this enchantment, and it works a lot easier if you ask me personally. So what you're gonna end up doing, and if you want to throw Leyline of Abundance in here, I had it in here for the longest time playing the deck. I decided in the end I don't think you really need it. What you really need to do is hope for that Nyxbloom Ancient / go drawing for it, or just get down your Kinnan and get a Nissa and some Gift of Paradise and go a little ham with it. Anyways, you get down your Incubation, you adapt it, it's tapping for 3 mana, you have a Kinnan and it's tapping for 4 mana. You're almost there to 5. That's why I say if you want to go for a Leyline of Abundance to make the combo completely infinite, you will need the Leyline of Abundance. And if you have the Nyxbloom Ancient, it can go infinite, obviously, by itself. So we focused on going infinite with it a lot in the beginning when I was playing this deck. This is we'll call it a more efficient version, right? I took out the Leyline of Abundances so people wouldn't be like, wow, this is garbage. And just going for the combo, right? I want people to be able to play a deck that can go infinite and feel like, well, they're not going to just do terrible, right? So if we take a look at this deck, and why am I saying like, oh yeah, this deck is actually kind of all right. Down here in the lower end, we have Spectral Sailor. It's a 1/1 flash flying creature for 4 mana. We can draw a card. This is kind of our draw engine, right? We're going to be tapping and producing 5-6 mana, or a crap ton if we get down the Nyxbloom Ancient. Then we're going to pay 4 mana to draw a card. Then we're going to have that 1 leftover mana with Tolarian Kraken to untap our Incubation, or maybe it's a forest that we pumped up and gave Gift of Paradise to, right? Either which way, we're going to pay that 1 from Tolarian Kraken and then untap our creature, and then tap it again and create 5 mana, and then untap it and keep going back and forth. So that's why Spectral Sailor is important in this deck, and a flash flying creature for 1 mana, not too shabby. Moving us along, we have Incubation Druid, the champ that everybody wants to use when they're going for infinite, because it can tap and add 3 mana. Now, you do need to adapt it, which is, a little here or there, but it shouldn't be too difficult given it's only 5 mana. And you have Growth Spirals, you have Euros, you have Kioras, you have Gift of Paradise, you have Nissas. You have the means of getting to the 5 mana relatively quickly, and making sure that you can, if not go infinite with this deck, go very, very close to it, right? Anyways, we have Growth Spiral, because again, we're trying to ramp up, trying to get that mana. And that's my main thing for this deck. I always make infinite decks, and I'm like, well, it's just like a 6-piece combo, no big deal. Go to KFC and order a number 9, and you basically got the same thing. But in all reality, I wanted this one to be a deck you could play, and it has the potential to go infinite, but you can play this and you can win without going infinite, you know? And that was the main point here, and that's why we're ramping. And you'll see when we get into the deck tech wrap up that this deck actually has some top end options that make it very, very worthwhile. Anyways, Kennen Bonder Prodigy. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. So obviously it's going to be boosting our incubation up to 4 mana. And this is why I say if you want to make sure that you're going for the infinite, you know, whatever, you can throw in a Leyline, because then that kicks the incubation up to 5. And it doesn't require you to have the Nyx Bloom down, so to speak. Now you can do this without the Nyx Bloom if you get a Nissa and you get Gift of Paradise on that land. And then you, like, obviously make that land into a creature and go that whole route, but it's still a bit of a difficult one. Hydroid Kraken is next up. It's the top end payoff, right? And the nice thing about this card in combination with Tolarian Kraken is this card can draw multiple cards. And the thing with Tolarian Kraken is it reads whenever you draw a card. So every time you draw a card, you know, whether it's with Hydroid Kraken drawing 5, then it's gonna proc 5 times, right? So what you do is you pay, untap, pay, draw, pay, untap, pay, draw, and so on and so on and so on infinitely. But Hydroid Kraken, again, it's flying, trample, gives you life, gives you card draw, and most importantly, it looks kind of cool, right? Moving us along, we have Gift of Paradise, because again, we're trying to ramp, we're trying to stay in the game, and not only does this allow you to ramp, it gives you some life gain, so that way you can actually stay alive in those aggro matchups, right? Moving us down, we have Kiora, because what's better than untapping a permanent for 1 mana? Well, untapping it for free. Not to mention the fact that we get to draw cards with Euro and the Tolarian Kraken, and yeah, you don't have to play Kiora, but I wanted to make sure the deck was efficient at doing what it does, right? Euro, speaking of which, it's a 6/6 for 3 mana. The stat line on this card is always going to get me. It's a 6/6 for 3 mana. That gains you life and draws you a card and allows you to play an additional land down on the battlefield. It's crazy, right? But it is one of those things. It's going to ramp you. It's going to draw you a card for Tolarian Kraken. And the life gain is going to keep you alive up against those aggro decks. So, again, pretty freaking sweet. Teferi, Master of Time, has the unique ability of using his Planeswalker's ability on your turn as well as your opponent's turn, so you can draw a card on your turn and use Tolarian Kraken. And if that wasn't enough going infinite on your turn, you can draw a card on your opponent's turn and go infinite. Or you can -3 and of course phase a creature out if you need to do that at instant speed. Teferi's pretty good overall. You know, I don't think 4 mana Teferi is one of those cards that's like, well, you have this game and I might auto concede. It's a fun card that allows you to do fun things. And I think it does work well in both competitive and sort of janky decks. Anyways, next up we have Nissa. The main thing here is whenever you tap a forest mana, add an additional green mana. And then furthermore, you can plus her up and put 3+1/+1 counters on target non-land creature you control, which is one of the more important parts. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and has haste that's still land. So it still can, you know, be tapped for mana. And then, of course, since it's a creature and we have Tolarian Kraken, we can pay 1 and untap it and, you know, continue our cycle. Next up, we have Shark Typhoon. This is a great card because, again, if you're going to be dumping tons of mana, 1, you can do that here. 2, you can decide to draw with it. 3, if you do get it down and you're just over here casting your Nissas and your Great Hands and all that, you're going to get some big old shark buddies to help you finish out the game. So, again, this deck is meant to be both fun, infinite, okay, I guess all 3. Fun, infinite, and, you know, efficient. That's the 3 wombo combos that I was going for, right? Tolarian Kraken, we've sort of already talked about this quite a bit. You know, whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. Now, you can always use this to just tap your opponent's creatures out and then get in for a free hit as well. You know, if you're going to have tons of mana and you're looking to just win the game, you don't really care so much about going infinite, but you think it's a cool thing in the sort of side effect area, then sure, you know, pay the 1, tap your opponent's creatures, and then get in with your big old Hydroid Kraken or your Euro or all your forests that Nissa's has boosted up, right? Nyx Bloom Ancient, if you're looking to play more of this card, I probably wouldn't blame you. It's a fun card, and it can allow you to do some really nutty stuff with this deck. So for 7 mana, you get a 5/5 with Trample. That reads, if you tap a permanent for mana, so whether it be lands or creatures or whatever, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Now again, this is where you really get to go crazy with the combo, because if you have Incubation Druid down and she's adapted and she's adding 3 mana of any type every time, and Nyx Bloom says you add 3 times the amount, then she's adding 9 mana. And you know, you can draw 2 cards just with that, plus untap 1 thing with the Tolarian. So being able to proc it twice with 1 tap is it's crazy, right? And you'll get into this thing where you're going to end up milling yourself, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Next up, we have the Great Hinge. Again, we're playing, I feel like, enough creatures with Kinnan and Krasis and all that we can play down the Great Hinge. It's going to gain us life, it's going to allow us to ramp, and it's going to allow us to draw cards, which is pretty good for Tolarian Kraken again, right? So all in all, like I said, this deck is trying to be very efficient and an infinite combo all in one, which is something we generally don't see that often, right? Generally, if we're going for those infinite combos, there's some wacky color combination. There's some wacky outlandish enchantment or something in there that you have to do to get it going, right? This one, it feels natural. It feels very smooth. And when you get it, you're like, okay, cool, I have infinite. You know, that's it. It's not like trying for it for 10 turns and then you realize you're never gonna get it. It's like a nice side effect to just playing Magic, you know. And that's probably the best time to go infinite, is just in your all willy-nilly feeling about it, right? I don't know. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the deck tech or deck breakdown for the large majority. Of course, we are going to come back at the end for the deck tech wrap up. I highly recommend you watch all the way through to that. If not, you know, you can at least just skip around to it. Anyways, so yeah, on into the matches. I'll see you in the deck tech wrap. So it's okay if you're a mono red player and you're just now getting into the game. I just encourage you to find another deck that won't burn you out on the game, because I think mono red does have that high burnout rate. Anyways, Lobo Bronco. I'm gonna stop. Bronco, whatever. I'm gonna stop talking about the here's and there's of the game and just play, right? Sometimes I get on these long spiels, these long rants. And I know in the YouTube videos, like, it gets chopped up, so they'll hear like the ass end of the rant, and then they'll hear the beginning of the rant, and then they're like, okay, now I see. Now I understand. So what do y'all think? Opponents playing some counter magic, some flash creatures? It's Azorius, so I'd be willing to bet my left testicle that they're playing some counter magic. Lobo Branco, prove me wrong. I'll go to the doctor right now. Oh shit! All right, guys, peace out. I gotta go. They're not playing. What else could I do? This is why you never make bets like that, okay, everybody? Just so I'm clear. Alright, a cheeky little charming prince. You know, everything about your deck screams Yorion, but I don't see a Yorion over there, so are you playing with my feelings? Because that's kind of what it feels like. I just want you to know, don't go breaking my heart. Does this allow me to get down the Euro? It does. It also allows me to get down Kiora, which allows me to get down the Euro on top of Kiora, so you know, it's and before we do all this little crazy stuff, stay back, Spectral Sailor. What do you think? You're the 1/1 blocking machine. Look at this. Look at this beauty. What? Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Is it because the Euro procced first and drew the Tolarian Kraken, and the Kiora procced second and she drew the land? If that's how it is, I should have looked at my ordering, and we should put the Kiora before the Euro, right? Would that have worked? Just being curious here. Nah, you can't convince me that charming prince is gonna take out our Nissa. Yeah, right. Archon. Okay. So you tap for 3. You untap. You tap for some. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can I, if I use this, and then I untap with Nissa there, it's producing 3 times, so it's producing 6. Yeah. You go for the Nyx Bloom.
right? Now, draw the card. Ooh, that's spicy. That's spicy for sure. That's bringing the spice. What is that? 15? You auto pay the 1 mana, you untap the forest, you take action. Oh, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. We haven't even used Nissa yet. We're still sitting with 14 mana. All right. We're gonna get down a big old 10-10 Krasis, right? I feel like that's good. That's good fun. All right, so Tolarian Kraken. What a Lobo Branco. They've seen enough. What a fun card. Do you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 procs. This thing's creating 7 mana on every tap. Only costs 1 to untap it. So 6 times 5, 30 mana right there on the stack. We hadn't even used our Nissa yet. Predo Fietosa. Predo Fietosa? Look, I don't know. This is a bit of a yikes. This is like a far-fetched dream. We have the Temple of Mystery, which is why I'm considering it, because we can go Temple of Mystery, scry to hit a land, use 0 off that 3rd land, potentially hit a 4th land. Like, we're making moves. We're making plays, right? We'll keep it. We'll keep it. I kind of want to throw a Growth Spiral in this deck, not going to lie. I think Growth Spiral would slip in rather nicely. I also think you don't need as many Nyxbloom Ancients as what I have in the deck. So, yeah, there's some stuff here and there that you could definitely work around to make it more efficient. But I gotta say, the Teferian Kraken, or no, what is it? Tolarian Kraken? Teferian? There's way too many Teferis in Standard. The Tolarian Kraken, that ability, that's a lot better than what I originally gave it credit for. Like, it doesn't even require near as much as what I gave it credit for. Look here, you discard fuck. I don't appreciate. And I feel like a lot of y'all aren't going to appreciate what I'm about to exile here. But you know, you choose your stuff based on the kind of player you are. A lot of people are screaming, chance the Spectral Sailor, exile the Spectral Sailor, for fuck's sake. Or the Kraken, considering it's the jank. But I say nay. I say nay and good day. There's no way you're getting me to sacrifice my Kraken, my Kraken that I just showed the true power of. Right? But did you expect the Spectral Sailor? Ha ha ha. I am just gonna go ahead and trade out there because like the continual damage. They're playing mono black. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a devotion deck, you know? If it was some old Nightmare Shepherd devotion deck where they're like, oh, I'm gonna use Veto too. Cause you know that stuff's spicy. Give me a land. Give me an L-A-N-D land. Euro. Come on. Give me a land. I love the 3 life. That's spicy. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, thank you, buddy. You are a trooper and a half, Euro. I tell you. Don't listen to what the haters say. You don't need to be banned. You need to be right here in my deck, right? Doing what you're supposed to do. Opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. I always forget about card draw on the opponent's side. No. They don't get a draw a card every turn. Just me. Okay, so it's mono black devotion. And based off their deck, it's not running anything new. Not that mono black devotion needs anything new to be spicy, right? So this is unfortunate. The Knight of the Ebon Legion's gonna get boosted up here. We might just have to call it quits on this game. I don't see it. And another Kraken doesn't pose well for us. We could go for a Krasis, a little 2/2 Krasis. It essentially doesn't block anything though. There's an argument to be made to go to the Leyline of Abundance, but I think at that point we're hemorrhaging. We are like absolutely just just dipping it down. The Great Hinge. Well, I would love... They would be great if we could get that down, right? They're down to 2 cards, though. Plague Crafter. Yeah. I mean, you know, shit happens. So they're swinging in for, what, 7 damage? We're going down to 9 health. They're not swinging in with their Yara. I don't know at what point in the world you decide sacrificing another creature and drawing a card is worth the 2 points of damage you missed out there, but to each their own, to each their own. I think that is a GG. We're not getting there. I kept a greedy hand and it shows. Overshare. Well, better than undersharing, right? Ah. I want my other hand back. That's okay. We'll make it work. We got some spice here. Temple of Mystery allowing us to hopefully look and find that land, right? All right. Bum, 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 bum. All right, Temple of Mystery. Find me a land, baby. Awesome. Not a land baby. You know, I'll take any kind of baby, even an aquatic baby, honestly. Old mer baby. I gotta say, merman, merwoman, all that sounds fine. You say mer baby and it just sounds kind of wrong. Throwing down a breeding pool. And next turn, are we going for the Euro or are we going for the Gift of Paradise? The thing is, Gift of Paradise is guaranteed ramp. So if we go Gift of Paradise and then we can hit a land after that, beautiful. If we draw into a land, I think it's pretty obvious we go Euro. Hey, what are you doing, Overshare? What do you think you're doing to me here? With the Priest and the Rakdos sacrifice deck? You're not being a very friendly person. Eva's gonna sneak out of here because she's getting too hot. She always wants to come in here and hang out, and then she's like, you know what? You're right. It's a little too roasty toasty in there for me. And I can understand that. It gets very hot in the office. Not only does, like... Oh no, we do have a vent. I was gonna say, not only does the AC not currently work, I think even when the AC works it doesn't blow in the air, but it does. I was wrong. 2 witches ovens, you dirty dog, you. Swinging in with the priest, 0 fucks given. Hello. They said, you're not a real opponent. You haven't played anything. Well, fine. You're not a real opponent. Come on down, Nissa. You do your stuff. You do your wacky, kooky, crazy stuff. If they wanna pre-sack my Temple of Mystery that I'm about to put up, well, you know what? You go right ahead. Am I putting a Temple of Mystery or am I putting a forest? We're putting a forest. It may not be as good. We could have went for a breeding pool, I suppose, and well, no, that wouldn't have done anything. Okay, we're swinging in with the forest. This is fine. They're doing the little the cat oven combo. They're baking me a nice little cat pie. Serve it up. Serve it up. You love it. You love to see it. Look at these, just happy faces all around in chat. You love to see that too. Alright, we can't even be mad at our opponent. We were the people running this deck not that long ago. Granted, we were in ranked, and I think there is something to be said about that. We were just running a mono red deck in standard play. I think there's something to be said about that too. Alright, what do you got for me, Overshare? Show me the good stuff. Whoa, Strider, that's spicy. That's some spicy stuff. Now you're gonna priest, sack your goat, and what, a cat? Maybe just 1 cat, you know? Yeah. Look at you being predictable. Very predictable. So now what? Are you putting... Oh, Mayhem Devil. That's not good for us. That's like at the bottom of the good list for us. How much mana do we have over here? 2, 4, 6, right? That produces 2. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 7 mana. We have enough to get down Nyx Bloom. Problem is they have a priest, so as soon as we go to get down to Nyx Bloom, yeah, it's pretty much a GG. We have 7, we have 9 with Nissa. Use Kiora. Second 2, we have 8. 8 mana plus Kiora. We could go for a big old Hydroid Crisis. Let's see. So we're tapping, we're adding, we're throwing it up, slamming it down, swinging it all around.
The land shall conquer you.
If I go for a Great Hinge here, we still have enough to go for the Kiora. Sure. Sure. Call me greedy, but sure. So they have 4 points of damage with the Cat Mayhem Devil. Are you just gonna sack and kill my forest? Because that's kind of what it's looking like you're gonna do. Okay. That's fine. Honestly, you might do better just going for the face, right? Like, you're dealing 2 points of damage with the cat, you're dealing 4 points of damage with the Mayhem Devil, you have the priest. At a certain point, you think, you know what? Fuck the lands. Let's hit them in the face. Right? Right? Surely. Surely that's what you think. So do we go for the big old Hydra Crisis knowing that it's going to get that? Or do we go for the Kiora, untap the Great Hinge, gives us more health, right?
There's something truly spectacular.
And then we can get down to Hydra Crisis, which also gives us more health and stuff. So cool. That pays for it, and then we're getting down to 3/3 Crisis. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you don't love to see that necessarily. Another Nyx one, but hey, a land. Good old land. We're maintaining. We're maintaining. Obviously, they still have a lot of stuff to do with Mayhem Devil, and well, maybe going to the face wasn't the correct play after all, given we were able to heal up a decent little bit there. I highly doubt we make it out of this like on top though, right? We're playing a very janky deck. Our opponent's playing a very top tier deck. If we win, I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate a good time. Alright, Overshare. Our soul is in peace because haven't played Teferi yet. Claim. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. So much so, I'm gonna let you have it. You got it, Overshare. It's not worth the anxiety, honestly. Alright. JT gonna be our next foe, and we're looking for a non-asshole opponent. You know, someone that doesn't scoop as soon as we hit our combo, and someone that isn't just ramping hard as fuck to remove our stuff. No Golgari beatdown, no scooping. That's my request here, JT. Should be a normal Magic player. Play your cards, we'll play our cards. We'll have a dandy time. A dandy time. Of course, you're rocking the Bolas avatar, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't trust a single motherfucker rocking the Bolas avatar. For a great reason. For a great reason. You don't spend gems on someone that looks that evil and then plan on being a good guy. You just don't. Look at it. That's evil. That is evil incarnate. I don't know. What are we gonna do? You know, we got these Rakdos players in standard. We got these mono red players in standard. Should we bust out the bot ramp and show them? Nah. If I'm gonna play serious Magic, we're gonna do ranked, right? And I'm not doing ranked. I'm not doing ranked tonight. Way too much stress has already occurred. Thankfully, the Robber of the Rich you don't get shit with it. Get out of here. Your dirty robber plan. Come on down, Euro. Come on down. Fabled Passage. Well, I don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. And let's go ahead and activate it and get some more green mana because we're actually lacking on green mana. Are we getting in with the Spectral? I think so. And we're so close to the combo. We need a few extra pieces, obviously. The stuff that helps our ramp. But we're getting there. We can adapt the Incubation Druid, which is nice. Not yet. And we're definitely not blocking that 10 Street Dodger, given we know good old Mono Red can have a shock and a heartbeat. So you don't trust it. You don't trust Mono Red. Phone, chill. I get it. You got problems. I got problems. It's a problem-filled world, honestly. Who doesn't have problems in this day and age? The rich and fanciful, I suppose. I do suppose. Grim Initiate. JT, what did we say when we first started this, huh? We said you were gonna be kind, you were gonna be nice, you weren't gonna pull this shit. Now look at you. You're pulling it. You're pulling it left, right, up, and down, and I do not appreciate it. We're getting down the Tolarian Kraken. You got a problem with it, fight me. Absolutely, just fight me. I'm gonna leave the Spectral Sailor back, not because I don't want to get in the damage, but because I want another body back. I think the same. Yeah. Oh. By the way, these flies that y'all just keep seeing fucking around in the background, huge piss offs. I love the horse and the donkey. Oh, sometimes they make me mad. They make me so mad. I can't give you up, Spectral Sailor. You are the combo. You're the piece. If they Embercleave my Tolarian Kraken, I'm gonna be sad. It's shocking. That is shocking, actually. Shocking out a Spectral Sailor. I mean, we could always just out-endure Mono Red, which is kind of the, like... They're gonna shock my Incubation Druid. I don't want to just, like, grind against a foe until either they kill me or until they're like, okay, I couldn't win. Are you crazy? You actually crazy? It literally just, yeah, it doesn't do anything. Although I could. Yeah, so I don't want to pay. Damn it. I guess because it's already on the stack, we can't, like, activate this, right? There's no Z in that. Okay. That didn't work out as planned. I guess that's alright, right? Because now it's going to untap it? That was weird. Alright, so now we can use Gift of Paradise here. Gain up some more life. That was kind of cool, though. Right? We're back up to 16 health up against Mono Red, who has a Mountain showing and then 2 other cards. You know, we're hoping it's not a Cavalcade, obviously. We're hoping they don't have 2 Cavalcades, most obviously. But aside from that, there's not much else we can do, you know? Keep up the blocking. Hoping our Incubation Druid stays alive. We're almost to the point we need to be. We have a lot of mana down, so Nyx Bloom is coming down. And opponents, they're just trying to flood the board. I hate to tell you something, Mono Red, but unless you hit that Cavalcade... Oh, we don't have anything to sink this mana into anyway, so this is kind of a waste, but it does show you the power, right? Because we can't actually do anything with that. JT, you see what I mean? You see what I mean? As soon as you start having fun, as soon as you start figuring out the deck, your opponent's like, oh, okay, bye. Spike Feeder. But hey, we have a Leyline in hand, 2 Nisses. I'm not a fan of that, but we have 2 pieces of the combo. Like multiple pieces of the combo, actually. This is like a 6-piece combo, okay? You want a combo this heavy, you gotta go to like KFC. You can't get this combo just anywhere. Leafkin, I can respect it. We're ramping, you're ramping, it's a happy rampful world. Kiora, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see some more lands. Give me an L, give me an A, give me an D. Land. 2 Leafkins, you're ramping like a motherfucker. Oh, an Incubation. Well, that plays well with Leyline, right? That kicks us up to 5 mana. Like total, which is a Nissa. That's exciting. A Nissa comes down. Vraska, don't do it. Hey, baby, don't do it. You remember all the great times we had together?
I guess today's your lucky day.
Apparently not. Vraska, you stingy bitch, you. Are we going for the Cure? I think we go for the Cure before Uro because, you know, logic and whatnot.
But my friend's kind of a big deal.
Not to brag, but her friend's kind of a big deal. I think she's talking about that big old snake worm thing that she's on. That's like the great worm, yeah? Are you playing some kind of weird Yugen deck, Golgari Yugen, because that's funky. That is certainly funky. By the way, drawn into two Tolarian Krakens, not the place you want to be, but we're drawing other cards as well, so that's okay. We're ramping, we're playing stuff, it's happening. Now we still can't untap anything with Cure and actually have it be worthwhile, right? So we're just getting in for the damage. Next turn we can get down Gift of Paradise, and then we can untap that with Cure and have some actual mana. Elder Gargaroth, oh shit! That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Alright, so do we Gift of Paradise onto one of our forest and then untap it with Cure? Like, boom, 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 and we Gift of Paradise here, untap with Cure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, it's not enough, huh? Not enough. Alright, well, Nissa, I'm gonna need you to come on down to the battlefield, if you would, so please. We throw up one of these.
The land fights for us.
We... Ah, right, because of the ley line, so we actually have enough to do that. If I untap here, or here, rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to 5 mana. Not quite enough to get down Tolarian Kraken. Right? Not quite enough. But it is enough for us to draw, right?
I love
It is indeed. Alright. So I could go for a Gift of Paradise, or I can go for the card draw on Spectral Sailor. Which would I prefer more? Ramp? They're definitely sending Elder Gargaroth at our Nissa. But do the Spectral Sailor can still block for... We have another Nissa coming down next turn. Decisions. Alright, let's ramp. I actually might have wanted to put that on the forest. That's a yikes. Alright, so they can send both their creatures at Nissa, at which point, yikes, you know, Nissa's getting taken out. But we have another one in hand, and that's okay. You leave my forest alone, you leave my islands alone, okay? I'm going for a combo here, a combo of which you've never seen before. Casualties of War. You just can't let me have fun, can you? You just can't fucking do it. Alright, well, GG. We're not coming back from that, ladies and gentlemen. We're a ramp deck that just got chopped at the knees. Captain Walker gonna be our next foe. I'm literally pouring sweat off my arms. It's so hot in here. 2 Leyline of Abundances in our starter hand. Well, you don't say no to that, folks. You absolutely don't. Boom, boom. You know what you probably do have happen here, though? You probably have your opponent just concede. Right? There's no way they don't. Pass. We'll throw it on Spectral Sailor. We hope they don't have a shock. It's looking like they have a shock, though. And another Nissa. Not a creature that could potentially allow us to ramp, but another of the same card we already have in hand. Well, that's how I like to play Magic, ladies and gentlemen. And another Spectral Sailor. We've drawn the same 3 cards for our top 9 cards. 4, I guess, if you want to count lands, right? But in all actuality, same 3 cards. Still not quite there. We can draw with the Spectral Sailor now, though. Are we attacking? I don't think so. Just in case. Just in case. Now, I know that they have a Torbrand, okay? Things aren't going to end pretty for us by any means. Why are you attacking without playing your Torbrand? You actual nonsensical person. You care more. Hard to convince me that losing the Torbrand for 1 single shock is worth it. But it's, you know, it's not up for me to say.
strange and magnificent world.
Do whatever you want to do there, Captain Walker.
Nature's true power.
Captain Walker, Texas Ranger.
Do not test me.
Bone Crusher Giant on the Nissa. I say we're perfectly fine to let the Nissa die. We have a whole nother one. So if they want to waste time that they could be sending shit at my face on the Nissa, well, by all means. Oh, shit. Bone Crusher. Good old Big Red doing Big Red stuff. Swinging in for 4. You love to see it. You love to see it. This is the stuff Spice is made out of. Legends. Absolute legends. Alright, Nissa first. Nissa first and foremostest. Good old Teferi.
All right. Who's ready for a good time?
Ah, we messed up. We should have adapted at some point. Oh well. Draw a card, then discard a card. Well, it doesn't seem like it'd help us a crap ton. But it might be better than phasing out something. We'll see. Kiora. We're just getting rid of her. We have to phase out that Terror of the Peaks before something enters the battlefield. Well, yeah, especially like that. Phase out. If you're going to phase out Terror of the Peaks, by the way, phase it out before it enters the battlefield so you're not regretting and hating yourself. Okay? Okay. Come on, send it at my face. Don't act like you don't know how to do math. Yeah, and the 2-1. There you go, Captain Walker. Picking up the victory. Look at you, you sly dog. Tincho. We're gonna keep it. You know, I think this is probably one of those decks that you play against your friends and you don't play in Arena. It's kind of like those Mirror March decks, you know? Some decks are just better played in paper. Because you don't have near as many you know, I don't know a nice way to say it. So I'm just not gonna say it. Tincho, what you got for me? Don't show me the mono red. I see you're rocking the Bolas avatar. We shock this in. We can Growth Spiral. We get down Kinnan. That's, you know, interesting if we can get something that actually taps for mana down. Like a creature. I think we just go for the Growth Spiral though, honestly. So what if we take 2 damage from the Pelt Collector? No, only taking the 1 because opponent bricked on a land. That feels great for me personally. Nyx Bloom. Yeah, don't want to see that. Not this soon, at least. Not this soon. Alright, Kinnan, come on down, buddy. It's your time to shine. It is your time to shine. I also think you can make this deck a lot more efficient if you did cut out some of the crazy shit like Nyx Bloom Ancient and just went for an efficient Tolarian Kraken. You know? But that's what the deck tech wrap-ups are for, right? For saying, hey, here's a different way to play it that may not cause you near as much rage. Oh, yes. Absolutely, yes. These people, I'm telling you, they come so close to actually making me climaxing in my pants. It's insane, the level of skill I see in these normal matches.
We will not fail.
Alright, well, for the sake of not losing both my blue sources, we're going to throw a forest up there. Right? Smack them around a little bit there. Call it good. We got a great hinge. We got a Nyx Bloom that we could potentially have access to come our next turn, depending on how things play out. You know? Oh yeah, baby. Give it to me. Nice and hard. That's how I like it, Pelt Collector. Right in the face. argument could be made for them to have Domri's Ambush from their Pelt Collector to the Nissa, dealt the 3 there, and then swung in, which caused me to lose that. But, you know, I'm not here to say you made the wrong play or anything.
Harness the elements.
Not my job. Ooh, sirree. So we can tap this, but we can't tap this plus get down that, right? Because that's 5 mana of green. If we do this, how much is it? It's still 5 mana, so we can indeed. All right, well, let's do it to it then. Great Hinge, come on down. We actually don't need to tap you yet, so you just chill out. We get down the Spectral Sailor, we'll draw some stuff. It's a land card. We can draw based off of that. Do I want to, or do I want to wait? We could also activate Leyline of Abundance and put a +1/+1 counter on all my creatures. But you know what? We're just going to hold off on it. We can do any/all of this stuff at instant speed, which means it's perfectly fine. Perfectly A to the OK. Tencho, what do you got for me? You got 3 mana. What could you possibly have? You're gonna Ooh.
Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for watching an hour of my goofy ass, for however long the video was, you know. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section. Of course, subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more, and then click that bell icon that pops out after the subscribe button. If you're looking to catch us play these decks live, hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpilkin. You know, we're very inconsistent over there. I try to go live most days, but you know, errands pop up and adulting and whatever. And then last but not least, if you're looking for a Discord community to join up with, as always, there's a link in the description. I highly recommend you go check that out. Now on to this deck tech wrap up. Goodness gracious, I'm losing it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm losing it. So over here we have some cards that are, you know, more fun, and some cards that are more serious, and some cards that I think would actually make this deck, I don't want to say a contender. I don't want to say that you take this deck in your rank by any means ever. But there are a lot of Simic ramp decks featuring Yugen, and I think with the right addition of creatures that you could play it in ranked and not just get absolutely smacked. I still don't recommend it, you know, unless you're just someone that enjoys grinding ranked and enjoys the competitiveness of it. But Yugen, I mean, hey, it's an 8 mana card. We're ramping already. Obviously, you don't want to exile your own permanents, but being able to deal, you know, the damage and gain the life and all that good stuff it's cool. So I guess you weigh your options. Are you trying to be more competitive and make this into a more realistic deck, or are you just going for the overall, you know, infinite combo? So Yugen, if you're trying to make it competitive, it's great. If not, maybe don't worry about it, considering it's a mythic. Kinrith is in here because it's the only other card I could find that is dump mana into it and draw a card, right? So far, the only thing that I've seen is Spectral Sailor, 4 mana, draw a card, and Kinrith, 4 mana, draw a card. So, you know, I don't know if there are other ways out there, but I wanted to give people the other option instead of Spectral Sailor. Like, if you want to go for Kinrith and make it into a Bont deck, you can. I don't necessarily recommend it because Spectral Sailor, well, is 1 mana, it's flash flying, and nobody really feels threatened by the Spectral Sailor. So it's kind of low key enough to get in there, stay in there, and do what it's supposed to do in drawing you cards, right? Next up, we have Nyx Lotus. So I got to looking at this deck and I was like, Tolarian Kraken, 2 devotion. Teferi, 2 devotion. And, you know, so on and so forth. So where are we at? There we are. Nyx Lotus, I figured it would be kind of cool in a deck, and this, of course, would have to feature something like Karn or some way to turn the Nyx Lotus into a creature. But the cool thing is, you tap it, you choose a color, and you add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. So I got to thinking it might be a little bit easier to go mono blue devotion to a Nyx Lotus with Tolarian Kraken and make the Nyx Lotus into a creature. Because then the hardest thing that you're really doing is turning the Nyx Lotus into a creature. Because once it's a creature, you can pay 1 mana, untap it, tap it again, pay 1 mana, untap it. And, you know, getting your devotion to like 4, not that hard. Not that hard, really. 1, Tolarian Kraken already has 2, so in order to do the combo, you're immediately going to be at 2, at least. Not to mention Spectral Sailor has another 1, so add that up to 3, just do the combo. There's Teferi, another 2, and now you're at 5 mana already, right? And that's a turn 1 play, turn 4 play, and turn 6 play, so pretty spread out as well. And that's again giving you 5 mana, which is all you need for the Tolarian Kraken combo, because you need 4 to dump in to draw a card, and then 1 to untap whatever creature you tap to dump the mana in to draw a card. So Nyx Lotus, I think there is a fun mono blue devotion deck out there with Tolarian Kraken and Fairy and Nyx Lotus, where you also go infinite with your draws, right? And then that's sort of why we have Karn in here as well, right? Because it's +1 until your next turn, which obviously it wouldn't matter too much if you're going infinite with it. Up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness, each equal to its converted mana cost. So you would be casting this on your Nyx Lotus. Leyline of Abundance, I mentioned it in the deck tech breakdown. We did play it a decent bit in this deck in the beginning. I just don't think it's actually good. You know, like, it's fun, and if you're trying to get the combo more efficiently, sure. But if you're trying to be efficient with the deck and you don't already have this card, I certainly don't recommend go picking it up, because it's not something you're going to use very often, if really ever that often, and it's getting rotated out in a few months, so you know, don't bother with it. I'd sooner tell you to go use the Nyx Lotus combo, given the fact that Nyx Lotus isn't rotating. Of course Karn is, but yeah, you can find some way around here or there. Spark Double, if you're trying to just jump off the deep end into the jank, this is it, right? Because you can Spark Double your Kinnan, which makes it to where you can kind of reach the combo faster. It's a little bit more odd, but you can. Equally so, you know, you can copy your Nissa or your Tolarian Kraken or your Nyx Bloom Ancient. It's definitely more janky, but it's also for those people that want to go more infinite. And Chance, you're saying, how do you go, you know, more infinite than infinite? I don't know, but you get what I'm saying, don't you? Surely you do. Narset's in here again if you're trying to be a little bit more competitive. So if you're able to draw infinitely, obviously you're going to have a card advantage over your opponent. But what good is drawing infinitely if you can't have an infinite card, you know, or infinite cards in your hand, right? So the whole main point behind Narset is you just want to get the card advantage over your opponent, and well, she makes it to where they can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So again, she sort of gets lumped into that Yugen category, where it's like she doesn't really help the combo at all, but she makes it to where when you do the combo, when you're when you're drawing the cards, you're getting further and further and further and further ahead of your opponent, which is ultimately what you want to do to pull away with that victory, right? So this is for the more competitive people looking to make it a more competitive deck, and you can just simply slot out the Kiora, put in Narset, right? It's not really that big of a deal. Nadir Kraken, along the same lines of Spark Double, you know, whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. If you're looking for more mana sinks for your mana, well, here it is, right? More things that proc off of card draw and can get bigger and all that. I tried for so long to make Nadir Kraken something. I've kind of given up on it, you know. I just don't think it's that good. But again, some people love it, some people hate it. If you're one of those people that love it, by all means, throw it in. Or if you're playing a mono blue devotion, hey, it has 2 blue devotion. Speaking of 2 blue devotion and being great for that mono blue devotion, we have Brazen Borrower. Again, tempo. You get a card down, it has 2 devotion, it's a 3/1 flyer. It's just very, very efficient. Now, it is mythic, so I'm not necessarily telling you to go crap this card and throw it in this deck and you're going to have a, you know, woohoo fun time. But if you have it, it's certainly something to think about, right? Speaking of having it and not having it, Leafkin Druid and Elysian Caryatid are pretty good replacements for your Incubation Druid if you don't have an Incubation Druid. So Elysian Caryatid reads, add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any 1 color instead. Now if you take a look at Tolarian Kraken, it does indeed have 4 power. Euro has 4 or over 4 power. You know, your Hydroid Crisis can have over 4 power. So getting this thing to tapping for 2 mana isn't that difficult. And then again, you need a little bit of finessing with either the Kinnan or the Nyx Bloom Ancient, right, in order to get it to go infinite. But it's an option, and it's only a common, so it's to some probably a better option, right? Same with Leafkin, it's a common. Tap it, add 1 mana. Tap it if you control 4 or more creatures, you add 2 green mana. The biggest problem with Leafkin is it is only adding green mana, and you'll notice over here in Spectral Sailor you need blue mana to draw a card. So yeah, I don't know how you fix that one, but I figured I would offer it up. Moving us up here, we have Ominous Seas. If you're drawing tons, well, this kind of becomes really good, right? Whenever you draw a card, put a Foreshadow counter on Ominous Seas, remove 8 Foreshadow counters from Ominous Seas, create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. So if you have infinite draws in a turn, you can technically have infinite Krakens in that same turn. And then obviously you're just sort of hoping your opponent doesn't board wipe. And then moving us up, we have Ghostly Pilferer, another card from M21. It's a 2-mana 2/1 that reads, when Ghostly Pilferer becomes untapped, you may pay 2 mana if you do draw a card. So I'm sure you can kind of see where this goes with Tolarian Kraken. Now it is very, very expensive, but you can pay 1 with Tolarian Kraken, tap your Ghostly Pilferer, pay another 1 with Tolarian Kraken, so yes, you will have to be drawing 2 cards, untap Ghostly Pilferer, and then you may pay 2 to draw a card. So altogether, again, it's still 4 mana, but you're having to draw 2 cards in order to proc it, and this card on its own only draws you 1. So I don't know how you're doing that, but I looked at Ghostly Pilferer and I said, you know what? Paying 2 to draw a card, it's not bad in a combo like this, especially when it works off tapping and untapping, and that's kind of what your Tolarian Kraken is all about, right? Furthermore, you know, you can discard a card, and then Ghostly Pilferer can't be blocked this turn, so it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good at ending the game and being a little bit more efficient and a little bit more janky all at the same time. Alrighty, all that being said and out of the way, that is going to do it for the Deck Tech wrap up. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, you know, leave that like, leave that comment, leave the subscribe or whatever you want to call it. Thanks everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.